Okay, so for the domain of g of f, I went ahead here and just kind of wrote out what g of f would be. So remember when you're finding domain for even roots, the deal is that the argument under the stuff underneath the radical has to stay greater than or equal to 0. Because if this came out to a negative number, then that would be an imaginary value, and so the domain's going to be the real numbers. So anytime you see a root problem, if it's an even root, you just take whatever's under here greater than or equal to 0 and solve. So here I took the x minus 1, moved it over, and then there's my interval notation. Didn't ask this question, but I'll answer it anyhow. The other version of domain that we see is where we're dividing by something. So if this had been, pretend for a second, 1 over x minus 1, square root of 1, so if that had been in a denominator, careful, then you would have to set that to just greater than and not equal to 0, because we can't divide by 0. So if there's a division issue, you can't set things equal to 0. That's usually the problem with that domain. With a root, it's that the argument of the root has to be greater than or equal to 0.